Yeah. Apparently, if you're going to have any Native American anywhere on your video game or anything like else, you must hire consultants. Or how dare you? I don't know. I don't get it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Straight Outta Compton because there's a crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. And other fun stuff. So let's get started. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm currently indisposed.
Yes. Welcome to Micah and the Hatman, live. Alright, Hatman. It is that time.
Straight Outta Compton.
Yes. Crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Yep, I would go for the rest of it, but I'm pretty sure that we would get banned off of YouTube faster than,
Oh, somebody would flag us so fast.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I don't know if I've talked about this movie before. This isn't the first time I've seen it. I've seen it one other time. But this, coming in as someone who doesn't particularly care about rap music at all, or rappers, or NWA, or anything like that, doesn't really know the history, I thought that this was honestly a brilliant fucking movie. Like, just really, really well done. It made me want to look into everything that happened with NWA, the history behind them, and how Ice Cube went off to go do his own thing. Because for me, like, I just knew him as that one guy who did "Are We There Yet?" and Friday. I didn't know about his freaking rap days. Dre, I knew a little bit more about. I only knew about Eazy-E from a book that I read that said that he died of AIDS. Literally, that's all I had known about him. And of course, Yella and MC Ren I hadn't heard about. And apparently the movie forgot Arabian Prince, or at least just relegated him to a cameo. So, yeah, I did my research after watching this. But anyway, no, this has been my second viewing of it, and honestly, I feel like it gets better. It's so well done, so well put together. Casting is wonderful. I mean, they got freaking Ice Cube's kid to play him, so it works out so damn well. And I really like how the story does center around how Jerry Heller is such an asshole.
Yeah.
That he took advantage of these guys and almost destroyed their lives. Him being the real villain of the story, I think, is pretty awesome. Along with, Suge Knight, but Suge Knight's just an asshole in general.
Yeah.
Who, we can't say things that we should say about him because they would get us in YouTube trouble. So
he is not a very nice person.
But he's not a very nice person, and he deserves bad things to happen. Many bad things to happen to him. But yeah, no, this is really good. Again, like even if you're not into that whole scene, even if you are not into rap music or even the culture behind it, I still think that you can appreciate this movie. So my fiance, who is one of the whitest white girls ever, watched this with me. This was her first viewing. She loved it. Like, she was super into it, super intrigued, and now she's like, I kind of want to watch it again, like, tomorrow. But yeah, no, it's really, really good. Really accessible to the average person, I think. You don't have to know anything about NWA or the history behind it. I mean, it helps a little bit, but I think it does. But that's not going to take away from your appreciation of it. It's one of the better biopics that I've seen.
Yeah, it is. I can confirm. I know I've reviewed it on the podcast before too. It is a great film. The birth of gangster rap is basically what the NWA heralded.
Yeah.
Which oddly enough, I listened to a lot of this as a teenager. So
interesting. I think it's got a little bit more relevance today, just because of the, fuck the police thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially given several scenes in there where you have NWA's interactions with the cops. So, yeah, like it definitely holds some relevance.
One shitty cop can ruin everything.
That's true.
And
that's true. Or in their case, a couple of shitty cops can inspire a best-selling song.
Yeah.
But really, just iconic song. It's not even best-selling. It's iconic. Fuck the Police is an iconic song.
Yeah. All right, folks. So Hatman gives this a thumbs up.
Give it a thumbs up. Enthusiastic thumbs up.
There you go. My pick, because this should surprise no one.
It's Gundam.
It is indeed Gundam.
Oh my lord.
So, believe it or not, I actually enjoy the model kit process so much. I actually went out and bought an airbrush, and I'm now in the process of airbrushing stuff from Wing Gundam for Wing Gundam Verkoth. Here's some of the parts here. These have already been post-treated and everything, so those are good. But I think I showed the box off on a stream, but I've still got it right here. Most of the parts are painted at this point. I've only got, like, the grays still to do. I also got another one in that I have not... I've gotten everything off of the runners on it, but I have not started any assembly or painting or filing as the Master Grade Shenlong. And I'll be reading donations in just a second. So, but War in the Pocket has nothing to do with Gundam Wing. War in the Pocket is, in a sense, a sequel to the original series, or a side story. It starts off literally at the end of the 1 Year War, where a small Zeon strike team infiltrates a colony to find information about a new federal mobile suit that is in development, which is the the RX-78 NT-1 Gundam Alex, which is basically a mobile suit that is built specifically for Amuro Ray and his new type abilities, that he never ends up using because it gets wrecked, as you could see in the photo. How do I put this? This is a Gundam that is made in the 80s, and it is the most 80s, one of the most 80s things I've ever watched. And I very much loved it. I'm not going to basically spoil it. The basic idea is that it actually does not follow the Federation guys that much. It follows the Zeon instead. And as such, you get a different perspective on the war. You get a different idea of what the basic soldiers of the bad guys were like. Now, you get some glimpses of that in the original Gundam, but the difference is that you see the command structure a lot in the original Gundam. In 0080, not so much. It's mostly just the grunts, and it's a very tense show. It's very sad because it does a very good job of humanizing every single character that's in it. But as such, that's also what makes it as good as it is. It's a 7 episode, something like that, OVA. I watched it in one night. And the big thing about this is the male lead, the lead character of the Zeon side, his name is Bernie, is voiced by none other than David Hayter. Yeah. So, a Gundam called Alex. Yes, that is the nickname of the NT1. Um, it really is just like a souped up version of the original RX-78-2. Kind of like the GPO-1, 2, and 3 in 0083 Stardust Memory are just souped up versions of it as well. So, um, I'm not going to spoil what this is. If you're not a member of the Patrons Discord yet, you should be, because we do have a show every single Monday called Mecha Mondays. Currently, we're watching the original Mobile Suit Gundam. We're just now finishing up, what is it? The 08MS team, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Blue Gender. So, this will be part of that lineup in the future, which is why I'm not going to spoil it. What I am just going to say is this is really, really good. And at some point, I'm going to need to buy the Blu-rays, because I just had an old DVD of it. But I hadn't watched it in, like, over 10 years. And it was a lot better than I remembered. And I have to say, this will be one that a lot of people are really going to enjoy. That's for sure. It's just too bad that the Gundam Alex itself as a model kit is fucking expensive. So, because it's rare. Alright. So yeah, this gets a thumbs up from me. So Hatman, you're gonna have to stop taking bites for just a second. And tell me what the fuck is going on with Disney.
So Disney is not in the business of accepting all script proposals, because diversity is king. So reports have come out now that they are passing on show ideas through ABC, at least, strictly because they do not meet new company diversity standards, which mandate 50% representation of traditionally underrepresented groups, which of course means, women and people of color and LGBT people and I guess disabled people as well. But the specific one that they passed on was about a white family. If it centers on a white family, no. Sorry. It's well written. They admitted it's well written, but not good enough because the races were not right. Remember how we've been saying, like, what matters the most is telling a good story?
Yeah.
And not politicizing it by making it all about, or trying to sell it as, this is so diverse. Just let the story speak for themselves. Yeah, apparently Disney didn't get that memo, or they just don't give a shit. Willing to bet it's the latter. Coincides, of course, with a BIPOC. Is that how we're saying the acronym now? Because I have no idea how to pronounce that shit, and I'm not gonna say 5 fucking letters. BIPOC. Can we agree to call it that?
That's fine. I'll allow it.
Anyway, a BIPOC programming initiative at Hulu. Programming by BIPOC storytellers for BIPOC audiences. Because how dare you, if you are not in that audience, consume a story featuring a cast of color? How dare you? Casual reminder also that Disney's most prolific firing as of late was a woman.
Yeah. Couple
and underrepresented.
I forgot to read the donations. I've been in a state of are
Go
you
for it,
fucking
yeah.
kidding me for the last 5 minutes. So Bobcat threw in a couple. He said, threw in $2 at a Gundam show. How unprecedented. Ha ha. Bobcat threw in another buck. Said you can't make all your main characters white. Add more diversity to the cast. You can't write us right. Pay us or get out of the way. I feel like they just don't want white people writing anything.
No.
Pretty much.
Nope.
This is one that actually we missed during the last one. Not the last one threw in $5. Thank you. Said, I believe, despite being a good film by itself, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest really damaged the public perception of asylums. There's no clear evidence that these institutes attract power-hungry abusers. There you go. So, so this is racist as fuck.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's on up there with the BBC's diversity chief saying that Idris Elba wasn't black enough because he didn't have black friends on one show he was on.
On Luther, yeah.
It's just so fucking stupid.
So you're gonna tell me the guy who played Stringer Bell on The Wire is not black enough?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 50%. We want equal representation, and by that we mean we want more representation.
Where's Wallace? Somebody doesn't get that reference, I'm gonna be mad. But see, what the fuck, man? Like, I really wish that they would stop proving the conspiracy theorists right.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Micah, did you know that you're wrong for writing a book about a black superhero with black people in it because you're white?
Yeah, fuck all that. I actually had somebody tell me that once.
Did you punch him in the mouth? I hope you punched him in the mouth.
Well, it was over Twitter, so sadly no. But
damn.
I'm like, so I said, I'm like, you can go ahead and dig a hole just low enough so you can suck my dick while standing upright.
Fair enough. Hardworld says, why not just say people of color? I thought black and indigenous would have been part of that. Because they're centering two parts of that specifically. When the acronym first debuted, I guess I can say, it was supposed to be black and indigenous people of color, separate from the people of color thing. And now it's black, indigenous, and people of color because they're prioritizing certain races because, of course, they're more equal than others. Schrodinger's Asians need not apply here.
Or Jews.
Despite Stop Asian Hate hashtag trending topic.
Hardbell makes a good point. Who created Black Panther again? Yeah, two old Jewish guys.
True. That's very true. Yep.
Yeah, anybody else remember the white Canadian guy who made Spawn? Yeah. I'm a major fan of both characters. Man.
I look forward to a future where people are allowed to, write the stories they want to write and make the media they want to make without people saying like you have to be of a certain skin color, or you have to consult this group of people who has the right of first refusal before you do anything.
We'll get to that in a second. Real quick,
unfortunately.
Real quick for Hunter Iggy.
Go ahead.
We're not going to be talking about the Gundam movie this week because I'm doing a whole video on it. So, I have words though. Just be patient. Speaking, though, as Hatman was trying to segue, quite well, I will add. It just wasn't quite the timing.
No,
We have a donation. Not the last one, throws in $5
Pause it again.
and says, the Alex was created to solve the issue new types like Amuro had with standard issue MS. He had to fine-tune the RX-58 every time to keep up with him. Oh yeah, I remember. And then they added magnetic joints at the end of the show, so that it really was closer to the reaction time that he needed. Servant throws in a bucket, says this and the obvious plan with Reddit leaks, Star Wars, social media going quiet for a week. Disney is fucked now. Again, a little bit of confirmation bias there. I'm not convinced that they're going anywhere. I am convinced that they're going to have to go through some changes, though, because there's going to be pressure on things, and some things that they think are going to be successful aren't going to be. So Hatman, tell me about This Land Is Your Land.
So, first of all, it's my land.
Oh,
from California to the New York Island.
Fair enough.
So this is a game about Native Americans basically having to assimilate with colonizers. And of note, there are no specific tribes named, and it's intentionally not 100% historically accurate because it's a simulation game. So with the accuracy of civilization, Gandhi with nukes and shit. That's my horse. Anyway, people got pissed off about this game last week, despite the fact that it had been out for a bit, if I remember correctly. And let me double check and make sure. But anyway, they threw a fit over the fact that they did not hire anybody or consult anybody who is of native descent for their research in the game, being a sensitivity reader, I guess. And now they're going after people who are streaming this game on Twitch, because how dare the devs claim they've done their research. I have no reason to doubt that they have done research. But, of course, the call is, this is cultural appropriation. You didn't consult the experts. This was not a game by natives, so by extension, it's evil, destroy it.
So my response as an artist is this. No. Go fuck yourselves. And if I need to add to it, white boy. That's basically it. And this is something that artists in general need to start getting comfortable with. Don't insult your fans, because they bought it. They liked it. They want more of it. Those are the people you want to keep. People who come along and say, this offends me, change it. The response needs to be, no, fuck you, go away, and if need be, white boy. Because oftentimes it's these white soy little assholes who come in thinking that they're going to get a sniff of Lindsay Ellis's pussy. Well, I don't know about that anymore. But, for being woke.
Not anymore. She's been canceled.
Yeah. So, Anita Sarkeesian, They're gonna get a sniff of the old fish. Wow, that was that was mean. You're not gonna. No, she's never going to fuck you. Can I just? I just need to feel. I feel the need to say that she's never going to fuck you.
No, she's never going to fuck you. You're never going to get a job. Your Twitter following is meaningless. Do something else with your life.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. You see, movie Bob. I want all the social justice types to have a good hard look at a movie Bob. I want you to look at Cinema
It's
Robert.
kind of hard not to notice.
This is true.
He's so fucking huge.
Kind of the size of the Hindenburg right now. But I would like you to look at the Cinema Robert for a moment. I would like you to look at that. And I want you to ask yourself, is that what you want your future to be? A life of simping and she never fucks you? And you just sit in your parents' basement drinking Mountain Dew, counting the cans? Writing a book about how you were mad that you couldn't play Nintendo at your grandmother's funeral? Is that what you want your existence to be? Because that's where it's headed. You know, that's where it's going. Because she will never fuck you. And trying to destroy creators will not make her want to suddenly blow you. Real quick, couple donations. Make Sims Great Again threw in $2 on 2 different donations. Says, so these dumbasses consider Asians not minorities should be cucked. They question why Asians are saying that they are racists. And then I'm going to say this. Cultural appropriation should have never existed, and those that are trying to use it are racist. P.S. Why would you want to fuck Anita? She's ugly in looks and personality. I'd say she's average in looks and fucking butt ugly in personality. She is a very, 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 very not nice person. Don't I mean Diabeto? No, because I don't watch EFAP. I don't care. I don't have that kind of time. I will watch EFAP if you guys don't want Inglewood Book 2 or any other comic ever, because I will never get anything done if I watch that. No offense to Mahler, but Jesus tap dancing Christ. And I don't want to be a nitpicker either. And yes, he is. I don't care what he says. If you take 12 hours to analyze a YouTube video, you are nitpicking.
Yes.
But if you like nitpicking, then fine. If that entertains you, but that's what it is. Like let's not like that. I don't think that that's even debatable at this point. So Ed Brubaker's not happy.
Nope.
So Hatman, give me the skinny on this.
So Ed Brubaker, for those who don't know, is a co-creator of The Winter Soldier. He's not particularly happy with the Falcon and Winter Soldier series that's on Disney Plus because he doesn't think he's being fairly compensated for it. And he's not alone. Apparently, a lot of longtime Marvel contractors, and let's be fair, that's what these creators are. They're on a work for hire, and that's effectively making them a contractor. They make these characters, they write these stories that then get adapted across, various other forms of media, and they're not getting fairly compensated for it because, well, the argument is that they're not getting fairly compensated because they would own the rights to those characters and those stories, at least as their IPs. But when you write for Marvel, you don't really own anything. Marvel owns all the IP rights, and by extension, now Disney owns all the IP rights, so they can do whatever they want with them. Your compensation is for the work that you did towards the comic book, not towards any adaptation thereof. So it is a bit of a dodgy topic, but I think it is one that we ought to at least talk about because, well, one, we're both in the business of making comics now, and two, as we see the MCU start to grow and the DCEU just doing its damn thing, we are naturally going to see, more stories being pulled from the comics, more characters being pulled from the comics, and the question of whether or not their creators deserve, some royalties from this is a question that at least needs to be answered completely. So, Micah, where do you stand on it?
Real quick, let me just kind of Ultimate Agent's kind of being autistic in the chat. You bring up Mahler constantly. I was gonna roast you about it at some point. Let it go. I was joking too. Goodness. Stop being a child.
Okay.
So I've spoken to several people who have worked for Marvel and for DC, and the one thing that I constantly hear from people that have worked for both is that Marvel is fuck awful with royalties. They try to avoid it as much as possible because they've always been bad with money, and DC is a lot better at it. Ethan Van Sciver, of course, being the main one. Let me just put it this way. There's a reason that Ethan gets kind of happy whenever he finds out that there's a new DCEU film coming out that utilizes something that he created at DC. Even though it's probably not going to be that great. And so this is just something that Marvel is infamous for, is being really, really bad at this. I am very much of the opinion if you create the character, you should absolutely gain royalties from it. Absolutely. You ought to be given some slice of it, or else there's no incentive to create new characters. Now, granted, it wouldn't surprise me if Marvel doesn't want new characters created, but I do think that is something that should definitely be considered. Because it keeps your people happy, and it keeps them with a positive opinion of you, and even if they move on to other things, that, they might come back at some point in the future. Chaos Sonic throws in a buck and says, is there any way for Peregrine to get a second chance? I missed that. I didn't realize that I missed the campaign. Same with Xenotype. I don't know about Xenotype. That one's kind of in limbo. I'll talk to Liam about it. Peregrine, I imagine some people with Graded are going to hang out with me tonight over on that channel. I will ask them about it. I would imagine they will probably put up a reprint of the first book on the next campaign. So. But, when it comes right down to it, this is a really good example, because here's the thing about Ed Brubaker. Brubaker is probably the one guy that they pulled more from in the MCU when it comes to Captain America than anybody. When it comes to how Cap was presented, it's a lot like Ed's Cap, and in my opinion, Brubaker was the best Captain America writer ever. So I can't blame him for being pissed off. He should be compensated for anything Winter Soldier oriented. I think that, like, and if any time that the Black Panther was on screen, the Kirby estate should have definitely been, you know, and so on and so forth. So the simple fact that this isn't happening just is another great example of why Marvel as a company fucking sucks. Even though, in my opinion, they have the superior comic book characters. You know, like, I will freely admit I grew up as a Marvel zombie. You know, there's a reason that the comic book characters behind me on the posters are, except for Guts, are all Marvel. You know? It's when, like, you look through my comics, why most of them are Marvel. Marvel or independent stuff, you know? Todd McFarlane's one of my favorite artists ever. He made his bones at Marvel, doing Hulk and doing Spider-Man. You know? So on and so forth. I have always been a Marvel guy. And, again, just this idea that there's a lack of respect for the people who create these characters or do something unique with them is always disgusting to me. And just the fact that Marvel has always been bad at it, that they've got all of these problems, and on top of that, these are problems that Disney is not cleaning up, is astonishing to me. I had actually kind of hoped a little bit that that's what Disney was going to do when they bought Marvel Comics. You know, but they just have not done it. It's still a shit show over there. And it definitely tells me that Kevin Feige's best years are behind him already. Well, I'll just put it that way.
It seems that way.
Let me read a couple donations, then we'll start getting into the Q&A. By the way, we have 63 people watching right now and only 24 likes. If you enjoyed the show, because we're basically going to be moving on to the Q&A soon, hit that like button, and we will be very, very grateful. Do not be a Steve. Do not make Hatman get his gun out again.
Don't make me get my fucking gun out again.
Yeah. Bobcat throws in a couple bucks on two different donations. He says, Ethan says that the prison that Flash's dad bought him either a boat or a down payment on his house. It was a down payment on his house. I've talked to him about it. And he's about to get another check for the Snyder Cut, too. Because he co-created Iron Heights. So, and that's, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he's really wanting them to do another Injustice game, because he co-created Atrocitus. So the fact that Atrocitus was the Green Lantern villain in Injustice 2, a little bit of a bump, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, like he's told me one time we were off air, and I just off memory I knew a lot of the things that he co-created, and he's like, yep. So, but anyway, he said the character Angel from X-Men First Class was either $1,200 or $7,200. And then Bobcat says Jim Shooter's Marvel was better. Rocket Raccoon's creator gets a fraction of a % of everything, for example. Getting rid of him was a mistake. Yeah, Jim Shooter is possibly the best editor-in-chief that Marvel ever had, and the fact that they got rid of him because he offended a few people was stupid. Chaos Sonic throws in a buck and says Disney and Marvel are terrible with royalties. I mean, the fact that they tried to get rid of the Star Wars expanded universe and steal elements from it is partially not to pay royalties. I would agree with that. Servant throws in a buck and said companies tied to Disney are doing this also in different ways. It's weird. Well, it's just cheap. That's the big thing. That's why I really don't have an interest in, even if I was offered, I don't know if I would ever work for the big two. Unless it was in my contract that I get royalties from anything that I create. You know? So, and trust me, I would have a lawyer go over the contract and tell me whether it's good or not. Or at least Hatman do it. I'd probably ask Nick Recated to do it. Be like, hey Nick, do me a favor. But I think people would consider it a betrayal if I ever worked for the big two. So I don't think I ever would. Alright. It is time for the Q&A. So let's see what we got. So Holy Insta wants to know, favorite mythological pantheon? The Greeks. Greek pantheon is mine.
I would say so too. Minus Zeus, of course, because I swear to God, every myth with Zeus starts with he couldn't keep it in his pants this one time.
Yeah, no kidding. Sean Kaufman in the chat made a really good point. He says Marvel's problem with royalties is one of the things that led to the creation of Image Comics. I know some people that helped create that company. They have told me pretty much exactly that. So, by the way, did you hear?
Donna freaking Kirkman.
Did you hear the rumor? Dale Keown, as in Hulk artist, creator Pitt, Dale Keown, might be coming into Comicsgate.
Really?
Yeah. And your cam is frozen again, by the way.
Interesting. Oh, shit.
So, I am a huge Dale Keown fan.
I don't know why it does that.
If he does come in, I want to interview him. I want to talk to that dude. He's awesome. Servant throws in...
Yeah, it is the one I'm thinking of.
Servant wants to know, he says, a word from Cameron Pasha is that the Reddit leak was part of a retirement package for her to make her look good. Do you agree with that or have a different take? I don't know anything about it. So...
I still say that the Reddit leak is bullshit, and the reason why is because of what we talked about last week with rewriting Ripley. I think the fact that you have so many Lucasfilm employees attached to that suggests that, yes, there is maybe not an overt civil war, but some kind of strife there on ideological grounds. So, no, the assertion up front that everything is fine and everyone gets along with Kathleen Kennedy, I don't believe. I don't believe that. So, no, I just don't believe the leak in general.
There you go. All right. What else we got? Donations came in that I should read. Chaos Sonic threw in a buck and said, Disney is getting sued by the Predator's original creators for the rights. I saw that today. I have a feeling they will settle out of court for it and give them royalties. They're not going to give those rights up. They've already got a film in production for it, and it's going to suck. Mr. H review on it, where it's basically girl power Predator film with an Indian with like the Indians. It sounds like a dumpster fire. So. Ugh. Bad.
Don't forget Diva's thing in the Discord.
Right. Diva asks...
Hers a little bit higher up.
Could we give a shout out to Vic Mignogna on the podcast? I greatly appreciate message of support from him, especially after his hectic week. I don't know what's been going on, but... Vic, you're awesome. I actually, not too long ago, rewatched parts of Full Metal Panic. And I love Kurtz. He's probably my favorite character on the show. So, stay strong, dude. We're praying for you. You're awesome. Seriously.
Hells yeah.
He's one of my favorite voice actors. He was before all this stuff happened. So, the simple fact that he's still going through all this nonsense is... It's disgusting to me.
Yeah. Cancel culture, man. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Never ends.
SGD says, if you're writing a team comic book, not a team up, more like Power Rangers and Justice League, when the team size gradually increases from one member, at what rate would you introduce new members of the team, not necessarily the story? I've actually been thinking about that when it comes to Project Lazarus. I'm not quite there yet to really answer it properly. So that is a stay tuned answer.
I am sort of writing something like that, and at what rate? Honestly, it just depends on whether or not the rest of the story can handle it. Like, if there's still focus on other characters that are not part of that team, I wouldn't add any more to the team. If focus gets removed from them or they get killed off or whatever, and add more people to the team. Um, what the number that I like to keep in my mind is 7. 7 is a good number of characters to focus on, whether it's part of your main squad or villains or whatnot, because that's about the average number of characters that people are going to really remember from your work, unless it's something like really huge, like Game of Thrones or something, or Star Wars. Uh, but focus on about 7 characters in general. Also, if you need to add more, kill some off. That is the advice of the Hatman. Murder your characters.
The shippers come around, people are gonna die. I think that you should say. I think you should ship the Saint of Inglewood with such and such. Next comic, the Saint gets hit by a bus. I'll kill him.
He gets hit by a boat. He dies in a boating accident with the shippers.
Oh, haha. But no.
He gets run over in the Suez Canal. There you go.
But just like, seriously, no. Don't even start with me with that shit.
No, don't do that. We don't. No. Shipping is stupid.
It's my fucking character. I'll do what I want with him. Let's see here. Miguel Barrera asks about the Gundam movie. I'm doing a whole video about the Gundam movie, so stay tuned. Has the overflow been canceled? No. We've been busy with 3 Nights stuff. That's why you have not seen it. Alex Ferguson says...
We've been busy with 3 Nights stuff, and people... never mind. Go ahead.
We'll just say it. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Which Gundam princess is the best? From Alex Ferguson. So are we talking actual princesses, or are we going into best girl territory here? Because...
I will not touch that one.
There's, because there's Sayla, there's Minerva, then there's the one chick from Gundam Seed whose name escapes me, and Gundam Seed sucks, so you know that's not the answer. Relinda's like a queen for 5 minutes. But she is the princess of the Sank Kingdom. So I guess if I had to pick one, I would actually pick Minerva Zabi. Shockingly enough. The funny thing about Unicorn Gundam is that the best characters in it are sure as shit not the lead characters. The best characters in it are Marita Cruz and Minerva Zabi. Period, point blank. So, and yeah, Minerva's... I like Minerva. We'll put it that way. I like Minerva. Minerva Zabi is an idealist done right. Which is kind of funny because in the same series you have Benager Lynx, who is an idealist done wrong. Because he's a whiny, sacrosanct little shit. He's not really that different than Kira Yamato. In some senses, he's just less sanctimonious. And he kills less people while being sanctimonious. He only kills 2 people in Unicorn. Just 2. One of them is an accident. So, because to his credit, he does actively try to talk people down, and he does actively go out of his way to disable weapons instead of killing people. I will give him credit for that. Kira Yamato is just a sanctimonious little shit who always makes the situation worse. So, Black Knight Rex, are you thinking of a different Zabi? Minerva is Dozel's daughter. Minerva is the one that Haman Karn was sheltering at one point, and then sent away during the Second Neo-Zeon War. Or the First Neo-Zeon War. Let's see here. Nothing new from the Discord here, so let's see what else the chat has. Oh, there's been donations. Doy. Bobcat throws in a bucket and says, if a character has relations with a boat as a one-night stand, does that qualify as overnight shipping? Stop. Servant throws in a buck and says, side bit, even the Reddit leak throws Pablo Hidalgo under the bus. No one likes him, it seems. Again, I'm not. I don't think the leak is legit.
It builds up J.J. Abrams too much, throws Pablo under the bus, and no. Just,
yeah.
No.
Hardbold says, what other comic creator heroes of years do you see potentially coming into Comicsgate? Maybe Todd McFarlane or Christopher Priest? No and no. Priest is still getting work. Priest is still getting work in the mainstream.
I'll tell you straight up, Priest would not publicly come out and say it.
No.
That's all I can say about that.
And then, Todd got nothing to gain from it. He's Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
So.
CG's pretty dead anyway, so it's not like it fucking matters.
Yeah. Dale Keown coming over is significant because it's another person who helped create Image coming over, and I think that that's symbolic. But on the flip side, and I'm again, don't get me wrong, I would glad he'd be with us. But at the same time, the movement is not quite the same as it used to be in some ways. So it's not, it doesn't carry the same enthusiasm. I'm interested in it just because it's an interesting move to make because it still does have ramifications. But on the flip side, there is something that Dale...
It's more of a middle finger to the mainstream.
Yeah. There is something that Dale has to... If he wants to bring the Pit, because I think he owns that character, into... Like, make his own Indiegogo on it and be part of Comicsgate, there is a fiscal gain there that he could have. Because Dale would make good money on Indiegogo with the Pit. Absolutely. People loved that character. But I don't know if Image has the rights to it or if he does. I don't know what anything is on that. And it's all rumor anyway because he is doing a cover for the next Cyberfrog book. But Ethan needs to finish the current one. If you're watching, Ethan, not trying to be a dick, but you probably, I was on that stream when you launched it a year ago. I launched 3 nights, 2 weeks later, that book's done. And 3 nights is late. So in all fairness, you kind of put that expectation on me, and I try to live up to it. Now I think it's only fair that you give the people what they want, and hopefully, what I would like to see Ethan do, get Kanan back, have him do your next book, have him do the next one, or have RJ or EJ Moore just do it. If you're wanting to retire from comics, just write, dude, just do it. Like, seriously, I'm not gonna hold it against you. I understand it completely. I'd probably want to do the same thing. So, all right. Still got 5 minutes. Leonardo Juan wants to know if your favorite character, a fictional character, Eddie Brock or Peter Parker, had a favorite anime. Which one would it be? Oh, God. I could see Peter Parker really being into Astro Boy.
You know what? Yeah, I could see that too.
I could really see Eddie Brock.
I could see Eddie
being into Hajime
I could see
no
Eddie being
Ippo.
into Gundam.
I couldn't. I could see him being into Ippo. I could see
Really?
him because he was an athlete. He's a high school jock. I could see him being into Ippo. I could see him being into like just a sports anime.
Don't say Eye Shield, I swear to God.
Or I could see I could see Brock be really into, if he watched it, oh, what is it called? Fucking Baki the Grappler. So, Eddie would like Berserk.
Venom would love Berserk. Yeah, probably.
I could see it. Eddie would like Parasite or Evangelion.
Parasite would be interesting.
I don't think Eddie would like Parasite too much because it's too much of his own fucking life. It's like he'd look at the symbiote and be like, "This is very familiar." Because Parasite the Maxim has a lot in common with Venom, a lot. A lot with the Thing too, but especially with Venom. By the way. The guy who illustrates One Punch Man, Yusuke Murata, has he ever drawn Venom? He's drawn Spider-Man. He's an amazing Spider-Man artist. If he's done Venom, somebody let me know. Send it to me on Twitter or something. Because I would like to see how Murata does Venom. Let's see here. Not the last one. Throws in $5. This is a Gundam Seed joke. He says, "Don't make me shoot you," says the Ultimate Coordinator as he needlessly kills dozens with shallow sympathy. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I fucking hate Gundam Seed. Fucking hate it. It is the worst Gundam series ever. Like, I don't think that anything comes close to it. I hate it more than I hate Gundam Victory. That should say something. And I really don't like Victory very much. That's the dude who made My Hero Academia? Murata? No, I don't think so. No, Yusuke Murata is the artist on One Punch Man. Ricky Joya throws in $3. He says, Marvel or DC, which has been ripped off more by Doctor Who? Yes. Let's see here. What are some other questions here?
Twitter got blown up, apparently.
Oh, goody. Brian Gilmartin wants to know, any thoughts about Tim LaHaye? I think the heroes he writes reveal him to be a sociopath. Tim LaHaye. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, he's the dude who did fucking Left Behind. He's a joke. I don't even care. Left Behind was trash.
Oh no.
Left Behind was trash.
Oh no.
Trash.
Oh no. Like Kirk Cameron Left Behind?
Nicolas Cage was apparently in a Left Behind movie. Final question before we take off. Thoughts on the series Invincible? So good. So far, so good. Definitely been enjoying it. Alright, folks, we need to take off. I need to go get set up for the stream with for the closeout of 3 nights. So we are going to go ahead and take off. Hatman, any final words?
Yeah. Back the book, you literally have a couple hours left to do it.
We have more time than that. It's supposed to end when the stream ends.
Urgency.
Right, but
Urgency.
but I'm not going to lie to the audience. So, but definitely back it. We'll be going over to the Sleeveless Comics channel to get that started. Hatman will be with me for a bit, and then, I'm going to be going all night because, yeah, I said I would. So with all that said, my name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin. Buy our shit.
Yes, we'll see you guys there. Day is full.